Let's talk about the early Christians of India.
There is evidence of Christianity in India since the 2nd century of the Christian era.
That's too old.
Christianity in Pakistan.
Okay.
And there is a significant population there as well.
And they thought we are the flag bearers of Christianity.
And most importantly, they observe the caste system.
Oh,
Okay,
which is not a known trait of Christianity.
So when the Portuguese come, they are kind of shocked to see कि ये कैसा Christianity है.
Hi, you're watching the Indian Express. I'm Abi Lairi, and with me in conversation is Adrija Roy Chaudhary, and we'll be talking about Christianity, the early Christians of India, how they came, what exactly they were doing, and how the Christianity, what we see today, flourished. Let's try to decode these questions in this episode of Past and Curious. Hello, welcome. How are you?
I'm great. How are you?
Ekdam badhiya. Let's talk about the early Christians of India.
Yes.
Who were they? A popular belief is Portuguese aaye the. Vasco da Gama came in, and that's how the Christianity bloomed in India. But after I read your research, that's not truth in its entirety.
Yes.
There is there are evidences of Christians being in Indian subcontinent.
Much before that.
Time. So how exactly they came?
So, like you mentioned, there is a popular belief that Portuguese and Christianity spread kiya, and that is how we have Christians in India.
True.
But actually, there is evidence of Christianity in India since the 2nd century of the Christian era.
Wow.
At least, or even before that. So now, how do we know this?
That's too old.
That's too old. Okay. अब ये हमें कैसे पता चलता है? Who are these people? How did they come here? As you asked. So there is a mythology. इसको myth बोल सकते हैं. We are still trying to figure out whether there is some historical truth in this or not. But there's a biblical text called Acts of Thomas.
Okay.
जिसमें Thomas, who is one of Jesus के apostles, he is said to be traveling towards India. Okay. Now, why does that happen? Because in Christian belief, there's this idea that once Jesus decided that he needs to spread Christianity, all of his apostles, they basically divided up the world amongst themselves.
Okay.
कोई यहाँ जाएगा, कोई कहीं और जाएगा, कोई Rome जाएगा, somebody will go to Egypt to spread Christianity. And Thomas over here, he was sent to India.
Okay.
And while, there is a lot of debate about whether there is any historical truth in it, where things become a slightly, there is, जो बोल सकते हैं कि historical एक बात नजर आती है हमें, that is when we come across the name of this King Gondopharus. Okay. He was basically the king of the Indo-Parthian kingdom.
Okay. Which
was a kingdom in the Indus Valley region, basically, parts of Iran, Afghanistan, Northwest India. इस area में इनका एक kingdom हुआ करता था. And ये Acts of Thomas में it is mentioned that Thomas travels to India and he comes to the kingdom of King Gondopharus.
Okay.
That is when a lot of historians are, a little convinced that maybe there is some historicity in this belief that Thomas traveled all the way to India.
Okay.
But what is interesting is that the earliest Christians are found somewhere in the Malabar region, way south.
Okay.
Now,
so they are not found in the Afghanistan, Iran, that belt.
Now, interestingly, long back I had done one more article on the Christianity in Pakistan.
Okay.
And there is a significant population there as well. And perhaps we can talk about that in a different episode on how the Christians of Pakistan, they also have a similar kind of a genealogy.
With Gondopharus.
I am not sure with Gondopharus, but definitely with the earliest Christians, with Thomas's travels.
Okay.
But in this case, the Syrian Christians, who are known to be the first Christians of the Indian subcontinent, they are mostly found in the Malabar region.
Oh.
Now, it is believed that the Christians, once Thomas landed in this northwest region, he, perhaps convinced a lot of people to convert to Christianity or to start believing in Christ. And they traveled all the way to the Malabar region. And that is how you have that kind of a Christian community in the Malabar region.
But why Malabar? Like, Why
I
out
am
of
also a little, and again, there are many questions that are still unanswered over here.
Okay.
See, what this text can tell us, the little bits we can find from a mythological text is like, yes, there was trade happening between, say, the Middle East and this northwest part of India. There were
Okay.
people traveling back and forth, and that is how maybe somebody would have come here and spread the religion.
Okay.
There is also historical sources that say that, before the Portuguese came in, there were Christians living both in the southwest and the northwest region of the country. So it is quite possible that they did not just go to Malabar.
Okay.
They've spread out, but with time they congregated in Malabar.
Okay.
And there is some reasoning for that as well.
Okay.
Now, it is believed that due to political reasons, majority of these Christians who perhaps spread out from the northwest region, they had migrated to the Chera kingdom of Malabar.
Okay.
Now the Chela ruler at this time, his name is Perum Cheral Irumporai.
Okay.
I hope I'm pronouncing it correctly. He is known to have been very tolerant of different religious sects and
Okay.
groups, all right?
Okay.
Which is perhaps why a lot of them went here.
And settled in Malabar.
Settled in this Malabar region. The Cheras were at this point in Malabar,
Okay.
over here. And he gave a lot of permits to convert to Christianity as well. In fact, more to the people who were at the higher levels of society.
Okay.
So there was a lot of openness that, you could
Okay.
become a Christian, you could believe in Jesus Christ's teachings,
And even if he was not a Christian.
even if he was not a Christian, he was very tolerant towards different kind of
Okay.
religions. So, a lot of them spread over here. Now, it is also interesting that, because they have been staying in this part of the world from much before the colonial rulers came, they quite naturally absorbed a lot of
Indian traditions, food.
Indian bolo, Hindu traditions,
Okay.
because people would not have been conscious of what religion they are. Hinduism by itself is a more modern
Agreed.
concept.
So nobody knows what exactly is the religion. around
Is
that time.
religion at that point, but जो भी यहाँ के जो local traditions थे, like marriage rituals,
Okay.
or say, tying the Mangal Sutra, which in South India is called Tali, I believe,
Okay.
that a lot of the Syrian Christians, as they are called, they also practice that. Then, traditions of newborn, like what we called, rice ceremony,
Okay.
things like that. These things also they develop.
Okay.
They absorbed
Absorb.
and started practicing it. And even till date, the community of Syrian Christians in India, who are again, primarily in the Kerala belt, they continue to practice many of these traditions. There are photographs I had come across, in which marriage ceremonies, in which certain traditions are being followed, which are typically you will find in Hindu marriages.
Okay.
So they had absorbed many of these traditions, and most importantly, they absorbed the caste system.
Oh,
Okay,
which
but-
is not a known trait of Christianity, technically.
Of course, yeah, but it so happens that caste was very peculiar to India.
Okay.
It's a very
At that time.
Indian local thing. Even today, caste and Indian subcontinent ka bahut ek, it's very intricately connected. You will not find caste the way it is performed and observed in India anywhere else in the world.
वहाँ रेस होगा.
वहाँ रेस होगा, कुछ और हो सकता है, क्लास हो सकता है,
मतलब I'm sure division तो सब जगह ही
division
होगा.
होगा,
सब जगह ही
but
होगा.
the way caste system functions, it's very Indian.
Very Indian. Too many layers.
Yeah.
And it's a very complex thing.
It's a very complex thing, and the Syrian Christians absorb that too.
Okay.
So you have, certain
Caste.
So of course, at the highest bracket would be the higher castes who converted to Christianity.
Okay.
Then the second grouping were those who migrated from Persia and, the Middle East belt.
Okay.
They were the ones who became the second or the middle caste.
Okay.
And the lowest caste were the lower castes who had converted to Christianity.
Okay.
And because again they're following the caste system much like the way the local Hindus were, untouchability also becomes a part of how
Okay.
they practice Christianity.
Oh.
All right, so it's very interesting. So much of these very Hindu beliefs they also started absorbing
Okay.
among themselves. And when the Portuguese come, so now you have your own way of following Christianity all these years, all these centuries. अगर हम
technically centuries.
centuries, हाँ, अगर देखा जाए तो they have been following Christianity in India for centuries before the Portuguese are coming
came.
only in 1492.
Agreed.
Which is like much after Thomas, so-called, the travels of Thomas. उसके बहुत पहले they are over here. So when the Portuguese come, they are kind of shocked to see कि ये कैसा Christianity है. That, which is...
And they thought we are the flag bearers of Christianity.
Absolutely. And this is not purely what, pure Christianity, the way it is supposed to be practiced. That is not how it is being followed in India. Now, initially, when the Portuguese come, the Indian Christians are quite welcoming towards them, because they feel that they will give them support against the local Muslim rulers at that time. In 1400s, Muslim rule is pretty much established in India.
Yeah.
So they feel that, they will get a lot of backing from them.
Okay.
What, without realizing that the Portuguese might just be, they might just want to change their identity completely.
Okay. And they were not okay with that.
So initially, for the first 2 decades, these two groups of Christians, one is the Portuguese Christians and the other is the Syrian Christians, or the Christians of India, they pretty much get along.
Okay.
They're quite, very peaceful relations between them. From the 16th century onwards, we see that, the Portuguese now start imposing Catholicism in its very pure form upon the Indians.
Okay.
That becomes too much for
the local Indians.
Syrian Christians to accept.
Okay.
So in 1595, a new Archbishop of Goa is, this post is created for Alexio de Menezes.
Okay.
All right. And under him, there was an organized effort to Latinize these Syrian Christians, bring more European way of following Christianity.
There's a standard, you have to dress accordingly, you have to speak like this.
You have to
the
speak
Psalms
like this, you have to
are
go
like this.
to the church on a certain day, there are certain beliefs you have to follow. All of this starts happening from the 16th century onwards. And then in 1599, which is the end of the 16th century, there is this assembly that is organized and for 6 days. And it is attended by around 800 people from the clergy.
Wow.
And they list out this, they have this detailed list of do's and don'ts that are necessary to be considered a Christian. Rites, traditions, things you have to do, the prayers, when you have to pray, what to pray, what you have to do. All of these are listed
and
in
these
that.
are clergy from across India. Like across the India is a too much statement.
Members of the clergy would mostly, I'm guessing, be Portuguese people also, because they are the ones who are trying to impose it on the Indians. So you have people from the Roman Catholics from Europe, along with the Catholic
and
converts.
they become the institution.
They become the institution. That is how Catholicism then starts spreading in India.
Okay.
And which is why we also know this, that the Portuguese are the ones to have spread Catholicism. But यहाँ पे अपनी एक Indian Christianity भी थी that a lot of people would not know.
No.
It's the Portuguese who then come and start changing that local variant of
and they branded it as the original
It is the
Christianity.
original Christianity of sorts, by now, now is when the Syrian Christians start feeling that, okay, this is being imposed on them.
Okay.
What the story is after that, we are not very clear how they managed to fight, whether they managed to fight back or not. What we do know is that presently the Syrian Christians are a minority. Over the last few years, their population has been declining, actually. But they continue to follow many of the Hindu traditions. So that kind of an cultural exchange that took place, the initial first years of Christian spread of Christianity in India, that is still followed by them largely.
And they follow Christmas a lot, or like it's a normal festival for them.
Yeah, Christmas is followed. A lot of the Christian festivals are followed, but uske saath saath they also follow a lot of Hindu festivals, traditions, cultural norms.
Okay. I guess that's it on this episode of Fast and Curious. If you know anything more on this, feel free to comment down below and we'll be happy to read your comments. On that note, बहुत बहुत शुक्रिया and a very Merry Christmas. Thank you.